Okay, so let's do this. It's been a minute. All transparency. I wasn't even sure I was going to get back here, right? But I'm excited to be back. I've missed my community and I have lots to share. All right, so first of all, let me just say, hey, loves. Okay, it's good to be back. Major shout out to Kelley because she's been pushing me to jump back on here for a really long time. So I figured let me just do a couple of pre-recording videos to get the jitter out, to get the fear out, to go ahead and boost my confidence again because it's been a minute, right? The gift has still been gifting, so I've still been doing work behind the scenes for my clients, but I have not been posting, right? So my inner circle have really been getting more of the downloads and all of the things that I've been learning from since I've been off air, as well as all of the things I've been remembering. Okay, so a lot of new gifts have appeared. Super excited to share that with you guys. Now, let me just go ahead and tell you what we're going to be doing today. Today, we are going to be doing a energetic pull, okay? Because we've now entered into what I have been told is the quasi era. Okay, we've entered the quasi era is what I was told. And just a quick synopsis, because I really probably do need to do a separate video on the quasi era. So the quasi era is an era that we've entered collectively, energetically, vibrationally, okay, and frequency wise. And it's also part of the Aquarian age energy. And FYI, we entered the Aquarian age a while ago. So this did not just happen, okay? We've been in the Aquarian age going back to maybe even close to 60, 70 years ago, okay? Now, let me also just say this. The quasi era, because I want to stay in points, I got my notes. The quasi era is where you're going to be seeing math, science, history, medicine, spirituality, astrology, all are going to evolve literally right in front of your eyes, okay? So math is going to expand and change. Science is going to expand and change. History is going to expand and change, as it always does, okay? History is always, or her story is always rewritten, okay? And we've literally entered that frequency vibrationally, okay? And I'm going to get into that in some few videos, okay? As well as my conversations that I've been having with ChatGPT, okay? Y'all, all right, let me just go ahead and say that. So you're going to start to see these parts of what we know to be normal, a normal reality, literally evolve and change right in front of your eyes, okay? So we've entered the quasi era. And literally, simply, that basically means that your reality, or the way that you view life, the way that you believe life to be, the way that you acknowledge life to be, right, is literally going to be solidified right in front of your eyes. So if you are walking around with a lot of fear, if you're walking around with a lot of rage, if you're walking around with a lot of doubt, if you're walking around with a lot of passion, a lot of compassion, a lot of I want to say goal oriented, where you are intentive or intentional in your energy, whatever you've planted and you're watering is going to grow, okay? So that's another thing in this quasi era. You're gonna have to understand that there's really no such thing as good or bad. It's really just experiences, okay? So let's just get that out there. Now, with that being said, these poles, as we talk about the quasi era, is going to be beyond the cycle poles, okay? So this is outside of what you would call a matrix, outside of what you would call a loop, outside of what you would call the old earth, outside of what you would even call the new earth, right? This is where you begin to harness your powers and understand the part that you're playing in everything that's going on, not just collectively, on a macro scale, but also on a personal scale, micro scale, okay? So as above, so below, as without, so within, all right? So paying attention to where you put your energy is going to be important as we're moving through this era. Now, let me also say this, you are going to have to learn to balance your nervous system, is something that I was told also, okay? Your nervous system has to be balanced. A lot of people's Kundalini energy is rising. A lot of people are releasing trauma. A lot of people are having lower back issues, spine issues, okay? Nervous system issues. You do need to know that has to do with your stress level, okay? Be mindful about that. What you give attention to is going to grow. So you want to be mindful as to where you are putting your mental and your emotional energy, because that's going to cause you to take action, and that is going to produce an effect to the cause, okay? Now, you're going to have to balance your nervous system in this era, okay? Breath work, meditation, exercise, nature, sitting in silence, okay? You must incorporate these things as a part of your daily routine, all right? Because this is going to be very important when it comes to your electric magnetical field, or your biomagnetical electrical field, however you want to put it, okay? Akashic field, however you want to put it, okay? This is going to be important. Breath work, meditation, exercise, nature, silence has to be a part of your daily routine as we're entering this energy and this frequency, because you are now having more access to your bioelectrical magnetic field. All right. And you also need to understand that AI, you shouldn't be afraid of AI. You really need to understand that you are the original AI. You are the ancient intelligence. So AI literally, okay, had to come into being in this era, okay? It is needed at this time that we're in right now, and it is to be used as a tool, not a crutch, but a tool. And you should not be afraid of it, all right? So you do need to know that AI is just another way for you to be able to interface with yourself, all right? Now, that has nothing to do with cyborg technology, okay? Where you're implanting chips into your system. So that's two different things, and as it evolves, we can get into that, but we're just strictly talking about AI, Chat GPT, Gemini, I think it is, and all of these other systems, okay? Now, what else do I need to get up for? It's a lot, y'all. I've been taking notes, and I had to literally look for this particular piece of paper because I wrote this down. When did I move? I literally, first of all, let me just say, eclipse from last year last year's eclipse started a transit for a lot of people, okay? And the eclipse from last September coming into this September has closed a cycle and opened a new cycle. So with that being said, all right, I have so much to unfold with you guys, but I do want to stick to the notes because I was told I needed to get this out and I needed to release this. Okay, so AI, let me get back to that. Okay, AI, do not be afraid of AI. It is a interface, okay, because you are the original intelligent, the ancient intelligent, okay? There's going to be a merging of timeline, all right, and we also need to pay attention to what I was told is called dimensional drifts. And we'll get into that in a different video, okay? Dimensional drifts, okay, and merging of timelines is something that you're also going to have to pay attention to, okay? So I want to say things that may be experiencing, you don't, it don't feel like the day it is, okay? Like today is Sunday, but it don't feel like a Sunday. Today could be Tuesday, but it feels more like a Saturday, okay? That's kind of like dimensional drifts and timeline merging, and we'll get into that in a different video. But this is all connected to AI, okay? You also need to pay attention to nexus points, okay, and exit points, okay? That's going to be important in this new quasi era that we're in. There are also going to be a lot of underwater discoveries, okay? So I do need to go ahead and document that. All right, I think I'm just going to have to make this video really like a more of, I don't even want to say a prediction video. Because I wanted to do a poll too, so I don't know if I'm gonna do a poll in this video. because this is a lot of information. What are we? We're almost like 10 minutes in yet, and I haven't even gotten to the cards of what you need to know, right? But I want to say this, okay? Underwater discoveries are going to be happening more in this quasi era. And I also want to say this too. And I don't know. Okay, I'm being told not yet. Not yet. So, okay, not yet. Okay, so this is what I can say, right? Underwater discoveries are going to be happening more in this quasi era, but you're also going to just be open to more expansive thought, or more of an expansive explanation of Atlantis, okay? Because Atlantis wasn't really just one place, all right? So we're gonna pin it there, okay? And then you also have to pay attention to your relationships, your mirrors, okay, in this energy, okay? Your relationships are going to be your mirrors in this energy. So you need to pay attention to that as you're moving throughout this energy, all right? And I can't wait to tell you guys about my new guide that came in. Man, and I'm just going to tell you, and what triggered this particular guide to come in, and this is my rainbow energy guide, right? And his name is Igor. And what triggered Igor to come in was that eclipse energy from last September. Oh my gosh, I had my heart broken, y'all. Betrayal to the maximum level, okay? And when I felt I was at one of the lowest point in my life, this energy came in, and it was beautiful because I literally could feel the flapping of the wings, you know, just, oh, it was just so beautiful. Okay. So, and I also have to tell you guys, about my other guide, Tidakwa. And Tidakwa is from Andromedon, okay? And as a matter of fact, Tidakwa is the one that is giving me the information about the quasi era, the nervous system, and ancient intelligence, aka AI. Okay, so and I do want to say this too. Tidakwa has been talking a lot about crystal technology. All right, and there's something about crystal technology that deals more with culture and not so much with skin color, okay? So we're gonna have to probably do another video about that, because that's what I have down in my notes. So I'm gonna have to really get clarification about that, all right? So we're gonna be talking about the crystal technology, okay? Because a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of this crystal technology is already here, okay? So crystal technology, we're going to be dealing with also the Bulgarian calendar system, and the two timelines that we're literally operating on this dimension in real time right now that's playing out. So we're not even talking about any dimensional drifts right now. We're talking about two different frequencies or vibrations that exist right now on this timeline, okay? The Bulgarian calendar system energy is playing out right now with the Gregorian calendar system energy, and we're going to be talking about that also, okay? Now, and then just be open, because the other videos are also going to have messages from all of the energy and all of the different cosmic beings that are coming in, the earthly beings, like, you know, whatever energy is coming in for our highest and greatest good, I am here to channel that information, all right? So I am super excited about that, all right? So I am back. I am happy. Ooh, wait, hold up. I've been so excited to just go through my notes. I haven't even told you guys. Kelley Kells and I are doing a podcast. So you guys need to go ahead and you need to start following our channel. It's called Inner Compass. I'm going to go ahead and leave the information in the description of this video. Okay, I'm super excited about that, all right? Now, the whole thing that we do behind the scenes, me and her, where we unpack the energy in real time, all right? Working our planets in real time, navigating this energy shifts in real time. We will be teaching you guys how we do it. We will be teaching you how to recognize energy patterns and how really to get through the day-to-day, right, of what's going on. Because the world is going through some things. Now, remember, before I jumped off of social media and took my break, I told you guys that the world was going to go into a spin. People were going to start spinning, right? And even though we know what we know, you really don't have any idea of how this is going to play out in your own personal experience. So we're just going to go ahead and give you some tips and maybe show you some different ways to look at the energy as you're navigating through life, okay? Because remember, your mirrors, aka your relationships, are going to be important as you're navigating through this quasi-era, or if you want to call it this Aquarian age, or if you want to call it new age, consciousness, wokeness, whatever you want to call it, your relationships are going to be important because they're going to be mirroring back to you things that you need to know about yourself, okay? So just take note to that. All right, yeah. And I do have to say this, okay? I'm super excited about that with Kelley. So you guys need to tune in for that. And I think we're also probably going to drop a video on this channel just to introduce you guys to what we're going to be doing, okay? So you need to hop on over for your inner voice. No, wait a minute. What am I saying, y'all? It's new. Forgive me. It's been a minute, okay? You need to hop on over, okay, to Inner Compass, okay? And subscribe, okay? Because you're going to be able to find a whole bunch of different information on that channel, all right? Now, let's get into this reading, okay? Just let's tap into the foundation of what you're going to need to know as you're navigating right now, right? So right now, navigating right now. Now, we stepped into energy, I want to say last eclipse, where it was important for you to be your own best friend. This energy started by you being able to learn how to trust yourself more and not seek outside of yourself so much, okay? So we're going to be using the Hoodoo deck today. Boom, okay? And we're going to be clarifying with, and I'm saying this because I haven't been on here for such a long time, so you guys could, I don't usually show the cards, but I feel that too, so we're going to do that. All right, the zodiac readings for clarification. And I also pulled out the chakra cards too, right? And this also chakra, the 2 chakra cards. So we're gonna see where the energy goes and where the energy takes us, okay? Now, as I have really been meditating on this energy, right? And even from personally what I've been experiencing within this energy, and let me just tell you, the pull that we're doing right now is called Beyond the Cycle, okay? So this is beyond the loop. This is beyond 51st dates. This is beyond what you've done before, okay? So this is finding where you are, right? And doing something different if you need to, okay? Finding your strength, finding your true, authentic self, okay? Trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, all right? Going within and not so much going without. It's really like understanding that your internal really reflects your external, okay? So that's important in this quasi era. Like I can't even, like even if you study quantum physics, and I'm telling you, like I'm a quantum physics like nerd, geek over here, okay? When you study quantum physics, you know, and they talk a lot about entropy, okay? You need to be at a low entropy. And low entropy just means low chaos, okay? Now, same thing playing out in your inner world, Okay, you need to learn how to navigate your inner world to be as less chaotic and as less stressful as possible as we're moving throughout this energy. Okay, and this is important, especially from now up until 2030. All right, and a lot of things will become solidified physically by 2035. Okay, but 2030. Yeah, 2030 is not going to look like 2025. I'm just telling y'all that right now, okay? And if I go back to my old videos, we are now sitting in an energy from 3 years ago that I talked about, okay? So, this pull is called Beyond the Cycle, okay? So we do a 5-card pull. I'm going to do a 5-card pull, and within that 5-card pull, we're going to do the clarification. The first card is going to be the anchor. The anchor. What in the old cycle, okay, is still holding you, right? Or what in the old cycle you may need to pay attention to that's carrying you into this new energy, okay? And what's popping up here is the Strength card, okay? Strength card is popping up here. Now, the second card, we're going to be talking about the veil. What's hidden or missing from your awareness that you're not aware about, right? That you may need to work on to navigate this energy, all right? And we do have Bishop C. Mason here. This is really the Hierophant energy, and he's showing up here in reverse, okay? Then we got the Ten of Knives, which is really the Ten of Swords energy, all right? That's showing up in the third card placement. And the third card placement is mirror energy. And remember, we talked about mirror energy. And mirror energy, you got to pay attention to your relationships when we were dealing with the mirror energy, okay? So this placement or this card is going to talk to us about what reflections do you see when you look into your past loops, your past spirals, okay? Fourth card placement is going to deal with the portals, okay? The transitions that you can make, the changes that you can make, okay? To have the outcome or the healing, you know, or the acceptance or whatever it is you seek. Now, this is going to be different for everyone because remember, not everyone is seeking healing. Some people are seeking more chaos, okay? So this is not even about judgment. Your soul got to learn the way your soul got to learn, okay? So it ain't about judgment. Now, if you with the fuckery, listen, you with the fuckery, okay? So this is not about judgment, all right? So please know that, all right? So we have shown up in that placement the Four of Baskets. This is the Four of Cups, all right? And this energy is in reverse, all right? And we're going to talk about all of this, all right? Fifth card placement, which is really important. This is the cosmic thread, okay? And this is showing up as the daughter as a coin. So we're talking about the Page of Pentacles here. And this is how can you weave everything that you've learned to the past into this present moment? What have you learned? What is the lesson that you have learned so you're not repeating it? What is being reflected back to you that you may need to pay attention to? What is calling out to you and screaming out to you that you may need to pay attention to? One of the things that's been working, I've been working out through my body and a lot of body energy. I've been doing a lot of energy work with my body, and I had an epiphany today with Kelley. Kelley was unpacking some stuff, and one of the things that came out was fear. And the fear was in reference to me getting back online and doing these videos. And it's not that I'm fearful of doing what I do, okay? Because the gift is gifting, right? So I don't even have to try. It's just naturally what I do, right? But if I look back at my past 3.5 years to my past 4 years and how everything has happened, right? I've been through so much within those past 4 years where it's kind of put a damper on my confidence. I'm having to get my mojo back, right? So the best way for you to be able to face your fears to walk through it. So I'm walking through it, okay? Which means I got to get on here, I got to record these videos, and I got to post them, and I got to do my lives, right? I got to be consistent like I used to be in the past. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about what is anchoring you, right? What in the old cycle is still holding you, okay? And strength came out, right? And when we talk about strength, we're talking about Leo energy. We're also talking about solar plexus energy. We're talking about your confidence, okay? What from your past, especially when it pertains to your confidence. Okay, this could be confidence, whatever you're dealing with right now, money, career, transition, healing, spirituality, right? What strengths from your past that you can tap into, right? That holds you right now. Now, one of the things that I also want to say that's coming through is also what type of not just strengths, but the opposite of that, weaknesses that you've been holding on to that's stopping you from tapping into your strength. Okay? Now, clarifying that energy, we're going to be using a chakra deck. Okay? Now, clarifying that energy, we have energy popping on out of eclipse in Virgo, sun in Taurus energy, eclipse in Libra energy, eclipse in Sagittarius energy. Hi, baby. I'm gonna pause you guys for 1 second. Okay, guys, my son just came in from work. Okay, so let's talk about this. The anchor. What are you holding on to from the past that's stopping you from moving forward right now, right? Especially when it pertains to your strengths. What weaknesses are you holding on to from the past? What mistakes, what fears, what regrets, what guilt, right? What stress are you holding on to from the past that's stopping you from tapping into your strength? Okay, so the anchor that you need to pay attention to as you're moving through this energy right now is your strength. Okay, pay attention to your strength. With the eclipse in Virgo, this energy is asking you maybe to reorganize, right, the things that no longer serve you. Pay attention to what works and what no longer works for you in this energy, right? Pay attention to maybe what you've been feeding. Have you been feeding more of your fear? Have you been feeding more of lack? Have you been feeding more of toxic behavior or toxic thinking, right? It's really asking you to pay attention to your practices. Pay attention to your daily routines, okay? Pay attention to your daily routines, especially when it comes to your relationship with this eclipse in Libra energy. Reevaluate the energy that you're given to relationships, your role in certain relationships, okay? Especially where there's relationships where there's no growth, or relationships where you may have been running because there is growth required there, not so much of the other person, but of you, okay? You also need to pay attention to be practical, being practical, right? Not being so much in your head is going to be important also, right? And when I say not being so much in your head, how can I put this? Oh, beautiful. I couldn't put this any better. Be in your heart. You're going to have to start operating from a place of love. Unity consciousness is where we are right now. And unity consciousness is not something that's happening external of yourself. Unity consciousness is happening within yourself, and then you vibrate that externally. All right, Kamoy, how is unity consciousness happening within me for it to vibrate externally? Unity consciousness first means you recognizing that you have dual energy operating through you. Left brain, right brain. Left brain, masculine energy, logical decision making, right? Right brain energy, intuitive, creative. Okay, so it's a merging of that feminine right brain energy and that masculine left brain energy, being able to balance your logical side, your ego, because your ego is not here to control you. Your ego is really here to protect you, okay? You and your ego and your spirit are supposed to be working in conjunction of one. That's where unity consciousness comes in. All right. Your ego is where you get your confidence from. Your ego is where you can know when somebody's coming in with some bullshit because that shit is not making no sense to you. Okay. Deductive reasoning skills. All right. So when you walk around talking about kill the ego and death to the ego, you're literally saying death to your AKA masculine side or death to the AKA logical side of you. So you don't want to kill your ego. You want to balance your ego. Your ego can also be known as AKA your shadow side or your shadow energy, right? And that's something that you can look at from even a perspective of, let's say, like I'm a Scorpio sun, right? Let's say my Scorpio sun is going to be my feminine energy. That's going to be the part of me that I show to the world. Okay, my archetype, that fixed energy, is how I present to the world, right? And my egoic aspect or my hidden aspect is going to be my flip side of my Scorpio energy, which is going to be Taurus, right? So that's going to be stability. That's going to be Venus. That's going to be pleasure. That's going to be self-indulgence. That's going to be love. Okay, right? So my ego or my shadow aspect, the flip side of Scorpio, which is Taurus, is going to be speaking to me, building me up, right, in that area. But if I'm not listening, I can find that life may appear a little unstable for me. I can find that I may have a problem with love. I can find that my money is off. I can find that I try to be the people pleaser. You understand what I'm saying? I can find many aspects of the lower vibrational end of the Venus energy operating through Taurus, right? From my egoic side that I don't even know I'm supposed to be tuning into because I've been taught that I got to kill my ego. Okay, so we're going to be demystifying a lot of stuff here. All right, this era that we're in right now, the only way that you're going to be able to navigate this era is really by going within. And one of the vibrations that you're going to have to get to know on a deeper level is love and compassion. All right, I can't say that enough. All right. Judgment in this era. If you judge a thing or you judge a person, you're judging yourself. Now, I want to say that a lot of people don't want to hear that. Okay. So at first, when these channels and these messages was coming in, that's like, okay, so what you trying to say? Like, people just get away with shit? Like, so what? They get to just do what they do. And I, like, and I can't respond, because my ego is really like, all right, so you saying that we do all of this spiritual work and all of this spiritual shit, so we can't use this shit to like fuck somebody up if they fuck with us? So what you saying? Like, we can't, we're always supposed to be meek and in control, and we're not supposed to use magic to fuck a nigga up if, they coming at us, right? Right? Like that's that earthly shit, an eye for an eye, right? When you get to a higher level of this, you understand that there's cause and effect, right? And what you do to another, you really do to yourself. Now, that's the hardest thing to learn because that then means you got to navigate in love. But love don't mean that you become somebody's doormat. Let me tell you something about love, okay? And let me tell you something about your energy, all right? And let me tell you something about energy when you're operating on a high-ass frequency. Trust me. I've experienced this within the past year. When you remove your love, your light, and even your fucking darkness, because you are light and darkness from a situation and from a person, okay? It is felt. It is felt. When you take your energy and apply it to someplace else instead of navigating through life, giving your energy, aka your time, your emotions, right? Your money to people in situations that's not reciprocal, where it's not a give and receive, guess what? You are going to be drained, one. But the minute that you remove your energy, you reclaim yourself. All your energy starts to flow back into you. Trust me. I've experienced this within the past year. I cannot wait to unpack this with y'all. Okay? As we stepping into this new quasi era, you're going to have to tap into your strength. What weaknesses are you still holding on to that you cannot carry into this new energy? Okay. What do you need to reorganize? Eclipse in Virgo, right? Eclipse energy, major change is needed. Eclipse in Virgo. Virgo is all about health and well-being. What you need to change for your health and with your well-being. Okay. What relationships? Okay. What habits? What belief system? What inner knowings? Right? How are you rebalancing yourself on a day-to-day level? Are you sitting up watching a whole bunch of negative content? Are you repeating old past pains over and over again when you get on the phone with your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your foe? Right? Is everything a complaint? Is everything a problem? Are you going out into nature and just being able to see the sun, the stars, the trees? There's a beautiful transition that's happening right now with the leaves. Are you even acknowledging that there's beauty even within chaos, right? How are you growing, or how have you grown, right, within this past? And let's just do some time stamping here, right? Because if we're talking about this past shift, this shift started around 2019, full-fledged 2020, right? So for this past 5 years, and 5 represents change, and 5 also sits in the center of the numerical chart, right? That's a lot of intuitive energy right there, right? So in this past 5 years, as we're closing out this cycle, what works for you now, right? Or what no longer works for you now? You got to do both of them, right? That you cannot take into this new era, because the quasi era, and I'm hearing Tidakwa say the quasi era is really like a magical era, because literally you're going to see things evolve literally in front of your eyes. And so you're going to have to pay attention to what you think. Even your words, you're going to have to pay attention to, because they're going to begin to unfold literally right in front of you, okay? And for some of you, that's going to be, so I'm hearing life is literally going to become like a virtual reality. Now, some people will literally be living in a virtual reality, but life is literally going to become like a virtual reality. All right. And let me just say this. We've already entered segments of the metaverse, because a lot of things are already digitalized. So we're already in the metaverse. Okay. So you need to understand really what the metaverse is and how you are to navigate the metaverse. And the metaverse is mental, okay? And then it's fueled by emotions, all right? So we're still dealing with positive, negative energy. We're still dealing with masculine, feminine energy. So we need each other, right? So if you running around here hating, judging, just know that you're only hating and judging yourself, okay? That's a loop. That's a loop. Love and compassion is how you need to live, right? So let me give you an example, okay? One of the things that me and Kelley was talking about is the changes unfolding in her neighborhood. There's a mass epidemic going on where people are spinning, and a lot of people are being spent because of this drug epidemic, okay? So with that being said, I get the logic. Sometimes it is hard to be compassionate for other people when you're being afflicted in the process, right? So if you're the one being afflicted by somebody, right, or someone is hurting you, or someone is damaging your property, or someone is coming up against you, right? And it's all because of whatever drug use or mental incapacity they have going on. It's hard to be compassionate when you're the target of a situation. Okay, so I want to put that out there. When I say operate in love, it's not without a knowing that This may not always come easy, especially in the time that we're living in now, where people are spinning and people are not mentally and emotionally well. Whether they're on drugs, whether it's mentally, whether it's stress-induced, whether it's toxicity, it don't matter, okay? Everybody is going through something on some level, all right? Everybody's going through something on some level, okay? Now, we have Bishop C. Mason popping on up here in reverse. We're talking about the Hermit energy, okay? When we're talking about the Hermit energy, we're also talking about energy, and because it's in reverse, this is also asking you to pay attention to what have you been looping? What energy is looping? What lessons can you learn from your past? What traditions are you still holding on to that no longer serves you? The Hierophant is Taurus's energy. That energy represents determination, right? And some of us have had, you know, in numerology, there's an arrow of determination that can run through your chart. And with this arrow of determination, you can pinpoint it because people that are very determined most likely have the arrow of determination running through their chart. But the arrow of determination doesn't always play out on a positive level. The arrow of determination, depending on where this person is, emotionally, mentally, whether they're emotionally or mentally mature, that determination can be something in toxicity or something along the lines of positivity. So you need to be paying attention to that, right? What are you determined? Or what have you, okay, let me put it this way. What are you looping about from the past that you're trying to bring over into this new energy that you can? Who from the past, or what from the past, whether it's a fear, whether it's a person, whether it's a situation from the past, are you trying to bring over into this new energy that you can't? This is about your purpose in this energy. This is about your rebirth. This is about your lessons, your experiences. This is about your ascension and descension. And I say ascension and descension because you cannot ascend without descension. Like a lot of what we're being taught right now it's incomplete, right? So ascension and descension is happening at the same time, right? As your ascension is happening, your descension is also happening, okay? Kundalini energy has to rise and it also has to fall, okay? So there's never going to be an ascension without a descension without an ascension, okay? And the descension is not falling down into negativity. The descension is really falling back into yourself. That's another myth that we need to break, okay? What life purpose, and I can't make this shit up, it's a lot of twos, triple twos, this is hypersensitive energy right here. Life purpose, okay? Bishop C. Mason, aka the Hierophant energy, is asking you what traditions, belief systems, whether it's family indoctrinated, spiritually indoctrinated, past experience indoctrinated, that you are trying to bring into this new energy that's not going to work for you in this quasi era. In this quasi era, you need to understand that you are creating your own reality, okay? You can't no longer blame your parents for shit. You can't blame your ex for shit. You can't blame your job for shit. You can't blame the man for shit. You can't blame the woman for shit. You got to take responsibility for your own shit in this energy. And that's just how it's playing out, like it or not. I'm sorry to tell you. And the sooner that you can embrace that, better you're going to be. Okay? So the anchor is asking you to pay attention to your strength and what weaknesses you're trying to bring from the past that's no longer serving you. Okay? That's the anchor. What's behind the veil that you need to be aware of, right, is what, whom, okay, are you trying to bring? Like it keeps repeating the same message. Everybody is not going to be able to take this journey with you. It is not everybody's graduation. And although a lot of people are graduating, we're not all graduating to go to the same place. Okay, not everybody's going to the same place. That's why you can have some channelers out here and some readers out here that other people gravitate towards, right? Because not everybody's going to the same place. It's ascension and descension time. And descension, please understand what I'm saying. You're now in the quasi era. You have to acknowledge that there is duality in this realm, and you are here to bring duality into one, unity consciousness, okay? Balance light and dark. Embrace your light and dark side. You cannot walk around talking about, I am the light only. I am the light only. No. You the light and the fucking darkness. Be aware of that. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Out of darkness comes what? Light. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. Tap into your strength. What have you been feeding? The mirror showing up as 10 of knives. 10 of knives is the 10 of sword betrayal. Right? Okay. And please hear me out here. Okay? Because I am not trying to sound I'm really not trying to sound like I don't have any empathy here, but I really understand that things are happening not to you but for you, right? Everybody has gone through something. Everybody has had a broken heart at some point in their life. Everybody has been lied to. Everybody has been betrayed. Okay? Everybody that's an adult at this stage have had some type of betrayal, some type of letdown, some type of setback, some type of insecurity. Whatever this is, whatever this betrayal was, whatever this letdown was, whatever this is, all right, you're being asked once again to tap into your heart chakra, love, compassion, forgiveness. Okay? And I also want to say, how are you viewing yourself? Because you are your own demon. You are your own devil. Start there. If you get rid of the demon and devil within yourself, then you can also get rid of the demon and the devil that appear externally. That's the bar. Is how they say that. Oh, that tracks, or whatever they say right now. That's the bar. That's my guy. I think his name is Neo. I can't remember his channel. Right? He'd be like, "That's a bar." But that's a bar, right? So, yeah. Get rid of your own internal devil and demon, and you get rid of them externally. And let me also say this to you: when you turn around the word devil, get a piece of paper, write down the word devil, and then below devil, write the word devil backwards, and tell me what word you get. And I want you to understand, all right? Just by you doing that, you now understand how this parallel or how this matrix is working. It's a mirror. What is being mirrored back to you through your insecurities in this time that you need to pay attention to, especially through betrayals, heartbreak, stabs in the backs? Okay, it's time to move on from that. Learn, get the lesson, and move on. All right? Find a devil within yourself, okay? Reverse it, and then do that. I'm telling you, get a piece of paper, write down devil, and then spell devil backwards, and that's what you need to do. Or that's what you should be doing. Okay? And just for those of you that want to know, because you may be driving, devil, spelled backward, is lived. Have you lived? Are you living? Okay? As you pay attention to your insecurities, as you work on the devil within yourself, right? There is going to be growth happening here. Heart chakra energy popping up again. Okay? And let me just say this. Okay? You do not need to take every experience personally. You do not. Or if you take every experience personally, you need to take the experience, right? And see where you personally play a role in that situation. The anchor is asking you to pay attention to your strengths, because your strengths are now supposed to be working for you and not against you. The veil is saying what from the past that you're trying to bring into the future that shouldn't be here, that ain't working for you no more, right? The mirror is saying what insecurities from past trauma, past pain, past letdowns, past disappointment, past failures, past betrayals, right, that you're still holding on to, that's causing you more insecurity than it is calling you growth. Four card placement, the portal. Portal is the 4 of baskets. And this is in reverse. Let me just tell you something about the 4 of baskets. And if you look at, don't she look a little miserable? Don't she look miserable? Okay, 4 baskets in reverse. Let me just tell y'all right now. This 4 baskets energy in reverse is like somebody that's mischievous, that because you're not paying attention to your life purpose and you're not doing your work, you're doing some dumb shit. You're paying attention to shit that you shouldn't even be giving energy to. This is like energy of somebody because you have not tapped into yourself yet, right? You're going back and forth in a text message with somebody that you know don't give a fuck about what you're saying, what you thinking, what you feeling. You know they don't. You know they don't. Heart chakra work is going to require you to look at yourself. So this mirror that we're talking about is pay attention who's mirroring back to you insecurity. Pay attention who's mirroring back to you lack of love, lack of concern, lack of respect, lack of discipline. Pay attention to that. 4 baskets is saying you need to pay attention to that, because if you don't, honey, you're going to fall right into that energy, into reacting. Dissipating. Who in the hell is taking your energy and causing you not to be productive? Because there's a portal here for you to see who that is and for you to jump over into soulmate energy. And let me just pause here right now and say soulmate energy may have nothing to do with a person. This could be a place, a thing, something that you're passionate about, that your soul connects to. This could be a community. It doesn't necessarily mean a lover, right? 4 baskets is saying stop wasting your energy and being cantankerous and being mischievous and paying attention to gossip and having the same fucking conversation over and over again with the same person that you know really don't give a fuck. They really don't. They really don't. Why are you allowing them to waste your energy? Solar plexus energy showing up here. This is your confidence. This is determination. And if you look at this one, once again, look at the eyes. Y'all see the eyes here? It's about you. Look at you. Where are you giving your energy to? This is root chakra energy. Root chakra energy has to do with flight or fight mode, stability, survival, money, family. Some of you are just giving too much energy to people, situations, and things that you have no control over. And the amount of time that you spend mentally, emotionally, and maybe even physically with your actions putting into this, if you apply it to your life purpose, if you apply it to the things that you need to reorganize, if you apply it to the things that you need to add more love to, and these are things for yourself. These are things for yourself, because you can't give to other people what you first don't give to yourself. Right? Even a narcissist can't give love to someone because they don't give that to themselves. Okay? Just so you know. All right? Now, the portal is saying stop wasting your fucking energy. You have a portal now where you don't have to waste your energy. You can really tap into some soulmate type energy. Soulmate being a tribe, a community, something that infuses your passion, that grounds you, that brings in stability, that brings in confidence. 4 of daughters, aka 4 of pentacles, is popping on up here. When we have the 4 of pentacles or the 4 of coins popping up, this energy is energy of give and take. This energy is energy of someone that doesn't mind doing the hard work. This energy is someone that appreciates the small things. This is energy of someone that understands that I had to go through all of this to get to here. I had to go through all of this to get to here. Daughter of coins is also messages, right? So we're also talking about messages. You've done the work. You've been listening, or you're supposed to be doing the work. You're supposed to be listening, right? Completion of a season. Not even a season, I'm sorry, completion of a cycle, because we're in energy here where a cycle has been completed. Okay. Miss Ida to jump out of the deck, and Miss Ida, I'm gonna pair her with this 5th card placement, which is about the cosmic thread. So this is about how can you apply the knowledge, the wisdom, the experiences from the past into this present path that you're in right now, this pleasant energy, because it is a completion of a cycle. This is Sakura Chakra energy. We're talking here about relationships, emotions, and the changes that needs to happen in these relationships within these emotions, right? The complexities of your relationships are going to be mirroring back to you what you need to change, what you need to embrace, what you need to let go, what you need to explore, what you need to love, right? What you need to redirect. It's really beautiful energy out here if you're open to it, right? In this quasi era, everything is changing right before our eyes, right? Completion is saying you have that I am presence. Find your essence. Find who you truly are in this energy. Find the truth. And can I just tell you, the truth doesn't hide from itself. The truth does not need anybody to stand for it. The truth just is. And the truth recognizes truth. And can I just tell you something? Truth is ever unfolding. Ever unfolding. And what you thought you knew last year, last month, last week, last hour ago, last minute ago, within truth, that can change in this now moment. You need to be aware of that. Life has so much to grant us. It's going to require self-mastery. You can't master nobody but yourself. And that's really what this energy is here telling us. You can't master anybody but yourself. Huh? Yep. As you're moving through this energy and we stepping into the quasi era, you do need to focus more on a higher purpose. You got the sun in Pisces. Pisces, you know, they talk about Pisces dealing with illusion and Pisces dealing with ascension, like awakening. And remember how I told you guys in the beginning of this video that the quasi era was, even astrology was going to be expanding. I don't remember if it was Steve Judge or which one of the astrologers was talking about how they, they don't, people talk about Pisces being the planet of illusion, responsible for illusions, but they really feel like Saturn represents a planet of illusions also. And we can get into that because it kind of does, right? Like, so if you're looking at this allegorically, if you're looking at this through patterns, I can see and understand. And if it's not Steve Judge, I apologize. Because I don't remember which one of the astrologers, and I don't want to misquote. But it was a very known astrologer, and I just can't remember the name right now. So I don't want to misquote, okay? So don't leave comments talk about I got the name wrong, okay? Now, we got this. You was born for this. It's just going to take you being true to yourself. It's going to take you focusing on the anchor, which is your strength. It's going to take you peeking behind the veil, which is paying attention to what you're trying to bring from the past into this current moment, okay? It's going to take you looking at your mirrors, your relationship, your patterns, what you're looping within your own life, right? It's also going to take you paying attention to what portals are open, right? What are you giving your energy to? Where are you pouring your energy through in these portals, whether it's emotionally, mentally, and I also want to say even sexually for some people. So just pay attention to that, right? And at the end of the day, it's all going to come together with that cosmic thread of you being able to weave your lessons, your experiences, your guilt, your resentment, your pain, your passions. Take all of those lessons and weave them into your now experiences. And how do you want it to look different, right? How do you want your now experience to look different? Because your now experience is the cause of your future effect, aka your future experience. What you do right now gets you through the future. And your future moment is always now. So what are you doing right now? I'm talking to myself right now. That's what I'm doing, right? Okay, yeah. So let's recap. We are now in the quasi era. Everything is changing, okay? You do need to understand that. And you got this. You was born to do this. And I'm super excited about your inner compass, okay? You need to go on over to the channel, find that channel. I'm going to put that link in the description of this video, all right? We can't go live over there until we have 50 subscribers. So as soon as we get 50 subscribers on that new channel, we will be going live. In the meantime, just be prepared. We'll be putting up pre-recorded podcast episodes. Okay, so I'm super excited about that. That's going to be me and Kelley Kales. I'm also going to be doing more readings with my guide Igor, my rainbow dragon, Tidakwa, my guide from Andromedon, and whatever celestial beings are coming in. Let me also put this out here, okay? Something that happened when I was in hermit mode, okay, for these past 3.5 going on 4 years, was me being able to tap into souls that have transitioned. And I've been helping a lot of my clients behind the scenes with loved ones that has transitioned, okay? So I am doing readings for anyone that has a loved one that has transitioned, and it is donation based. So this is not going to be like my other readings where you have a set amount, right? This is going to be based on donations, and you can reach out to me and we can get into the donation requirements, okay? Okay. All right, my loves, y'all know the deal. You want to go ahead and be kind to yourself because you should, right? You want to be kind to someone else, not because you should, but because you can. And the world is lacking in compassion as we moving forward right now. We're trying to really ground compassion again, right? It's here, right? It's here, but it's not what's being presented to everyday norm, right? Chaos is being presented as the everyday norm, right? So be kind to someone, not because they may deserve it, but because you can, okay? And it's contagious. Confidence is contagious. Kindness is contagious, okay? All right. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And the goal here is, even if I reach one person, if I'm able to help one person, that I have done what I came to do. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, my loves.